long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
You like me because I'm a scoundrel. There aren't enough scoundrels in your life.
I happen to like nice men.
Nice man.
Very nice.
So this lovely morning woke up to a wonderful Star Wars gift, The Bad Batch Season 3. It's the last season, so it's going to be exciting. And it got off to the right foot. This is going to be a spoiler video, so I'm going to tell people what happened if you haven't seen it. My advice is watch all 3 episodes and then come back and watch the video. So we start out, and there's Kojak with his giant pickle. We start out with Omega. It's not Omega, it's Omega. Omega. Pronounce it right. Stuck at Mount Tantus with this creepy clone doctor named Emery, trying to talk Crosshair into escaping. And it's pretty much a kind of a slow boil, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like a simmer. You're watching things as they kind of progress. And through the first 3 episodes, you notice things. Omega's hair is growing. She's now got it pulled up into a ponytail so she doesn't look like she got caught in a weed whipper. She's wearing down Crosshair to escape. And Lama Su, basically the person, the alien who's actually kind of Omega's mother, helps hatch the plan to escape. Okay, and that'll be the last episode. We're going to kind of go back over all of it. We get to Hunter and Wrecker, and they go on a mission to find out where they're looking for Omega, and they get a piece of intel. Go to this planet, and obviously it had a lab on there, and the lab had been blown up from the air. They run into 3 young cadet clones, and get into what's left of the lab while they're fighting these things called slither vines, and take this piece of electronics, this board, back to the ship. And they end up escaping. They're bringing the kids with them, and going back to the planet that they were staying on for safety and basically as a base. Now, we've got Dr. Hemlock and Emery here. Dr. Hemlock, or Mangala, basically pulls something that screams, I'm Director Krennic, and I deserve to be recognized by the Emperor. I want you all to understand. That's what's going on here. So, the Emperor comes to visit in episode 3, Operation Necromancer, and I believe that's probably the clone project for him. Okay, not that it's going to end up happening. Okay, because what did Yoda say about the future? Always in motion, the future is. And if you go into Ahsoka, Anakin Skywalker is now basically taking over the role of the son or the father. So this is shaping up to be a derailment of Kennedy era Star Wars, and I think that Hemlock, by asking if he could be basically the lead, the boss on this project, I mean, completely let loose on it, the Emperor just stops him and says, "You hold your horses." Okay. What's going on while the Emperor's telling him to back down? Lama Su gave Omega basically her tablet. Omega got Crosshair out, and they got out. They got to the crash ship, and when it was discovered she escaped, they sent people out to search for them, search parties, and Crosshair and Omega escape in one of the troop shuttles while after the Emperor leaves. I mean, they're already on their way out the door when Hemlock is lobbying for a bigger job, and because look, hubris. What is the one thing you don't fuck with a Sith Lord with? You don't ask them for things, okay? You don't ask Darth Vader to talk to the Emperor for you, okay? You're lucky Darth Vader didn't come in and finish force choking you, okay? Same thing with Hemlock. He does the exact same thing. And if you know Star Wars, you know that the bad guys always seem to have fitting deaths. Okay. Palpatine gets thrown off into a reactor shaft. Jabba the Hutt gets strangled by Leia's slave chains. On and on and on and on. Director Krennic gets killed by his creation, the Death Star. So what I think is going to happen is Hemlock is probably going to be done in by one of his clones. Okay. And the thing about it is, for Project Necromancer to go forward, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 steps backwards once he's out of the picture. Okay, which throws everything for the Emperor out the window as far as his timeline. And we're gonna see how it's going to kind of ruin any way forward that is immediate for Palpatine. But let's go further.
Conviction.
Do want to talk a little bit about what's in store. We've seen the trailer where it's obviously Asajj Ventress with hair, by the way. She grew her hair out. So they're basically retconning the comic where she sacrificed herself to save her lover, Quinlan Vos, who, according to canon now, is still alive. So he's still alive, she's still alive. They've retconned everything. And that this is a big deal because it shows that Filoni's not shy about wanting to change a story if it's not good, or if a change, bringing back a character, is going to help move what he wants to do forward. I'm looking forwards to this. Asajj Ventress is a cool character. She was created back when George still owned Lucasfilm and was part of the Clone Wars TV show for a long, long time. And to me, it's a great and significant thing to see her. So what is she doing? Well, if she's a bounty hunter, she's probably just trying to survive. Who's she working for? Well, she could be working for Sid. She could be working for the Hutts. She could be working for anybody. Okay, so, I mean, you gotta take that with a grain, if you know what I mean. I personally can't wait to see her. It's gonna be one of those cool things that just happens, and it will be very interesting to see what they do with her. So let's go talk about Omega. So she's changing. We don't have a sense of how long she's been with those Imperials on Mount Tantus. And it is Mount Tantus. Okay, so that's something from the EU. That was the place where Joruus C'baoth was protecting, that Grand Admiral Thrawn first met him. Okay. So obviously, the Emperor, obviously by him showing up there, Project Necromancer is very important to whatever his plans are. Now, I can hear Ryan Cannell and Gary Nerdrotic, getting his ass kissed by Benny Johnson, but Star Wars is dead. No, it's not. Everything leads to the sequel trilogy. No, it doesn't. Okay. People have to understand that these phonies make a lot of money saying shit like that. Okay. And you got to start looking at them going, can we just see what they're doing? Can we watch this with critical thinking, or are we allowed, aren't we allowed to think critically? Okay. And if it's what I think it is, Anakin being in the world between worlds, likely taking over the Father's place, becoming the Force God that balances the Force. He almost has to face down Palpatine with this bullshit. Now, how do I think this is gonna happen? I think Grand Admiral Thrawn may be the one to destroy these. Okay. Because he shows up with the Witches of Dathomir, and he is the leader they're all afraid of. All right. So he's got his own plans. Why would he need Project Necromancer? The Emperor's dead. Why? Okay, so let's go to Crosshair. Crosshair, in the beginning, was pretty much resigned to his fate. He was going to suffer and die on Mount Tantus in a cell, have his blood taken, all the rest of that stuff, and just die. Omega shows up every day to his cell, tells him what she's been doing. He tells her to go away, and she won't go. And when she finally does get a way out, because Lama Su, before the Emperor arrives, or as the Emperor arrives, tells Omega, take my tablet and get the fuck out. Get a shuttle and get the fuck out. Sneak onto a shuttle and go. The thing that happens is this. Emery takes Omega's blood, puts it in the test tube, and at the end, Crosshair and Omega take off with Omega's guard dog thing, and they have to let her go. She's gone. They can't catch her. Okay. But her blood comes up with this, whatever they mean, and an M count. Now, if you go back and watch Mandalorian, they were having trouble with that again. So, what's going on? Does Mount Tantus get destroyed before Thrawn shows up? They're still doing Project Necromancer, or did they have to go in and divide it up among several different things? All right. So, that's something we've got to look at, because how you look at Bad Batch, Rebels, Ahsoka, Kenobi, Mandalorian, part of these are always going to be interconnected, okay? Which is why we're getting Asajj Ventress, which is why the Emperor shows up, which is why I have a feeling Darth Vader is going to show up. In fact, I think he does show up in Bad Batch Season 3. And if he does, maybe he'll be the one to finally dump Ventress. I don't know. But I'm going to give these 3 episodes an 8 out of 10. The first episode was kind of slow, but I still liked it. And I suggest sit down with a bowl of popcorn tonight and watch it, and it's pure escapist stuff, and it's well worth the hour and a half to watch it. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.